we rolling? Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Outdoor Home Stay-at-Home Cooking Demonstration. Coming at you live at 7 o'clock on Thursday nights now. So we're going to get started here so we can get some things cooking, and then I'll kind of explain what we're cooking tonight. First things first, we're going to cook everything tonight on one big green egg. Pretty simple recipe, and it's actually a meal kit recipe. So this will be kind of fun to demonstrate how, if it can be cooked inside, just do it outside. So I've got the recipe called for preheat an oven to 450 degrees. So I've got the big green egg preheated to 450 degrees. And we're set up. I'm going to alter the recipe a little bit, as I would encourage anybody to do if you like it a different way. But the recipe said to preheat to 450 degrees. I've got our tortillas for our recipe. It's going to be enchiladas tonight. And throw those on the top third rack of the oven. Well, that just happens to work right there. And actually this side would be oven, because we are set up with our multi-tier or our two-tier cooking system here, with indirect on one side and direct on the other. So what I'm going to do is get those warming up. All we're doing is warming up the tortillas. I can slide this back. Cool thing here with the egg expander, that won't tip. So that's going to stay out of my way, and I'm going to put our chicken. We've got a couple chicken breasts here. These are seasoned with salt, pepper, and some taco seasoning. Because tonight we're going to do enchiladas, and you'll notice I'm going direct over the flame. The recipe actually called to do that in the cast iron skillet, but man, if I got the grill fired up and I have the opportunity, I prefer it grilled, so we're going to do that instead. Neat feature here, in case you haven't watched any of our previous, when I shut the lid, in case I forget, which I usually do, it's going to pull that top shelf forward for me. It's almost like a magic trick. There it is, right back where it was. So we'll talk a little bit about tonight's recipe, which is a real simple one. Try and stay hydrated. It's a beautiful night we have tonight. So I'm not trying to sell any particular meal kit or meal kits in general, but this is something we've been doing. It's just the two of us now, so these are pretty handy. If you've ever tried one, this particular recipe is from Dinnerly. There's probably a dozen or more different places you can get meal kits. They ship, everything comes in the box right to your door. Some of them have the recipes printed off. In this case, we actually printed off the recipe. We're doing skillet chicken enchiladas tonight. So I've done most of the prep, and we'll share this where you can actually see this, or you could go to dinnerly.com on their website and actually see exactly what we're doing here. But it's going to be skillet chicken enchiladas. So what I did already was obviously season the chicken, and I made our enchilada sauce. So the cool thing with these kits is everything comes in the kit that you need, with the exception of just some of your staples. So I made the enchilada sauce, which is on here. Follow the directions. That is tomato sauce. What did we have in there? Taco seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper, some flour. There's several ingredients in there. Made that from scratch. The cheese comes in the kit, so we grated the cheese. And from there, I think that's pretty much everything that we seasoned. The tortillas, everything. The nice thing about the kit is it comes with everything that you need and not a whole lot that you don't. It's just the right amount of seasoning, just the right amount of just about every ingredient. The only thing we had to add was flour and a little bit of olive oil. So I've got everything set up. We're kind of cruising there. We'll talk about what we're doing. Maybe this is your first time that you've tuned in to our show. We started out when we were required to stay at home for 5 weeks. Started out doing this every day of the week. We were coming to you at 1 o'clock every day while we had the stay-at-home order. But things have changed now. We've switched it to once a week, but still encouraging. We don't have to stay at home, but rather than go out to places to eat, just experiment. You know, spend some time at home, in your backyard, you know, in your patio furniture, at your dining table outside, and get outside and cook and try some different recipes. My motto is, if it can be cooked on the big green egg, it should, and that's what we do with this. I would say, I don't know, we do the meal kit not every week, but we probably do 2, sometimes 3 weeks out of the month, and we'll have 3 meals that'll show up, and I would say at least 1, sometimes 2 out of those 3 meals each week will end up, if it's nice outside, there's usually a way to adapt whatever the recipe is to where it can be cooked outside on the big green egg. I'm going to turn my chicken over. These are not going to take too long to cook. Oops. And then we're just warming up again. We're warming up our tortillas on the top. I suppose you could grill those if you wanted to as well. We talked about the setup we have here with the 5-piece expander. Father's Day is right around the corner, coming up here pretty quick. So if you've got a spouse that has a big green egg and you're looking for some great ideas, gift ideas, the egg expander setup is just outstanding. You have, I don't want to burn my hands, I have the ability, one cool thing, I can take this entire thing out if I wanted to, including the top shelf. Just grabbing these handles right here, everything lifts out. I've got my half moon stone that's in there tonight so that I can bake at the same time I'm grilling. But if I wanted to just bake, or maybe just smoke, you could add another half moon to the other side of that, which would complete the circle. Or you can use your convector, which is in one of the other eggs that most people are familiar with and probably already have if they own a big green egg. Other ideas, if you've got a spouse that has had a big green egg for a while, the regulator top, that is one of my favorites. Upgraded that one there as well. So instead of using the ceramic cap, I don't even know where mine is anymore. Normally when you would close down the egg, you'd have to take the old cap off and then put this in its place. With the regulator cap, I just slide that shut and the egg goes out. I can regulate my temperature. Wherever I set this, when I open the lid, it doesn't move. The other nice feature is when it's time to light the egg, it's as simple as opening that up all the way. That gives you full airflow. So you're never actually removing this top. Triple seasoned, so it will not rust. So literally you never have to, when you're done, you just shut that and that's that. Really good at maintaining temperatures. Feel like you can go lower temperatures or even maintain higher temperatures as well. The other option you would have, don't have to worry about it on a night like tonight, but if you have watched our videos in the past, there's actually some rain on this cap. If you've seen some of our videos, we have the rain cap option. It was actually kind of fun. Somebody came in the store and knew that that was an option. Can't use the excuse that you can't cook in the rain. If you have the rain cap, even if that was wide open, rain's not going to get in there. So that's another thing you can add to the regulator. I will say it's been fun. I know a lot of people have been watching the videos, and I've been in the store talking to people when they come in, and it's great to hear that you're watching them and you're enjoying them. There's several of us that are doing these, and you'll see more of us that continue to do this. We'll keep doing this once a week on Thursday nights until you tell us that you don't want to watch them anymore. But it gives you good ideas. There's so many, when somebody has a big green egg, whether it's Father's Day, Mother's Day, birthdays, whatever the occasion is, there are over 200 accessories just in the Big Green Egg brand. So lots and lots of things, that from mats, mine's in pretty rough shape. There's so many things that I'm using, the tongs, the knife. We've got new knife sets. I mean, you could just go on and on and on with all the stuff. It's so good to show. But I'm using enjoying a can of, just in case somebody asks, because we're not actually live, so I wouldn't be able to answer, but Founder's Pilsner is my beer of choice for this evening's dinner. And then if it were a bottle, I have you can even get the Big Green Egg bottle opener. Every table needs that attached to it. Don't have to have it tonight for a can, but all right, it was 5 to 7 minutes, I believe, on the recipe. We're just warming up the tortillas. We're not going to check that, but I am going to see how we're doing on the chicken. This is always handy to have an instant read. Big Green Egg makes a really nice one of these. And chicken, we're going for 160 degrees, although these are going to cook in the pan. We're at 140, we're almost there. Doesn't take long. And again, the recipe says to do that in a skillet, and if I've got beautiful hot coals like that over charcoal, that's going to be my preference just about every time. I'm going to turn the tortillas over just because we can. And again, if you haven't, this is your first time tuning in, I think you're on the 3rd week of doing it every other week. Or I'm sorry, not every other week. I think I'm every other week. I think we're on our 3rd of doing it every week on Thursday nights, but you can go back, and I can't remember the exact number, but there's like 40 episodes or 45 episodes that we did during that time that we were staying at home. So lots of different ideas you could get from there. There were recipes, there were videos that were shot by different people that I can't wait to try their recipe on my egg at home. So I got some inspiration out of it too, and I've enjoyed sharing our recipes. We're about out of recipes, but we've got a few still that we'll do. And if you've got recipes you want to see on the class, let us know. We'll try and get to them. you can always ask questions after the fact. So they air on Thursday nights, and we will make sure we're watching at that time. Okay, I'll show, here's another small little thing. These, you can buy these individually or you can buy these in 30 packs. This is a disposable cutting board. You just fold up the all four sides of it. It's wax on one side, got the wax coating, so I won't actually get that cutting board dirty that I brought out here. And the corners just fold. And got pretty good size. This one's 24 inches, so plenty of room. I'm going to build the enchiladas on here as well as cut up our chicken. I think we're probably getting close. The fewer the dishes, the better, right? If they had disposable cast iron pans, that would be swell. So we made this meal once before. We've been doing the meal kits long enough. We vary between different brands. Sometimes one has a better recipe one week, but we've actually cooked this before. And it was Shonda, who's operating the camera tonight. Her comment when we made this before was, that's the best enchiladas I've ever had in this house, and she makes darn good enchiladas. So I'm guessing it's in the sauce. The sauce is made from scratch. The only other way I've ever had enchilada sauce is in a can, so it's really good. All right, I'm gonna bet money that we're ready to go here. And we absolutely are. Okay, and the good news on this recipe is the next step of it, after we build the enchiladas, is going to be baking in the skillet back in here. So I've already got that other half. This is my middle shelf, middle rack of the oven. So we'll close this, let it cruise at 450, because the second part of the recipe is going to be putting the finished product on. So first, chicken might be hot, I'm gonna put my gloves on. And just a reminder, so I don't forget to say before we say goodbye when it comes time to eat here in a little bit. Of course, the store is open, so you can come in and shop traditionally and take a look at all this stuff. If you see something that intrigues you, we of course still offer delivery in the Sprinkle metro area and beyond, and we'll still do curbside pickup if you'd rather do that. So I think it's 6 enchiladas I've got to build here. Chicken's hot. Recipe says to shred it. I prefer to kind of slice it, chunk it up a little bit. I like to cut stuff. And don't judge my knife cutting skills. I am not a chef. I simply cook stuff in the backyard as much as I can. And this was salt, pepper, and the taco seasoning that came with the kit. And then the taco seasoning is the same taco seasoning I used to make the enchilada sauce. And apparently our beautiful but getting older golden retriever has decided she's not interested in watching tonight's show, and she's gonna whine at the back door until somebody lets her in. Maybe she's got to get a drink of water or something, but she can wait, because you know what? When we get done building the enchiladas, Zoe, when I get done putting these together, they're going to bake for 10 minutes, and you can just surely chill until then. All right, so we've got our nice. Yep, those are hot. Tortillas. The recipe calls for about a half a cup of the enchilada sauce in the bottom of the pan. And then we're just going to divide this. I'm going to do this ahead of time, otherwise I'll end up with, trying to get an idea what's here, make sure it is, I think it is 6. Surely they wouldn't do 5 tortillas with 2 people and cause a fight, right? Yeah, there are 6 here. And those are steaming hot. Okay, so now we're just going to make our enchiladas. Not a whole lot of science to this. I think the key would just be to probably not overdo it on the chicken and run out. Roll it over, and then we're going to put it in the pan seam side down. If you've never tried these meal kits, they really have some neat recipes, and it kind of forces us to, we like doing it, it forces us to make things that we normally wouldn't make at home. Lots of Italian recipes that are really good. And until we ended up trying one of these little kits, I can tell you I've never made enchilada sauce from scratch, but maybe that's normal for everybody else. But my idea, enchilada sauce made from scratch would be going to my favorite Mexican restaurant, but today's times, I think I'd rather just stay at home. This is a smaller skillet we've had for generations in the family, I believe. It works pretty good for this recipe, but we also have the options. The Big Green Egg makes one a little bit bigger than this. It fits in the Mini Max or the large, and then they have a 14-inch skillet as well. These kits, we choose to do the oh, there's going to be a couple extra bites there. We do the kit for 2, but you can do it for 4 too, and you'd have double the recipe. This is the biggest one, so the one on the end is, we'll fight for that one. Okay. And then we will now take the other portion of our sauce, drizzle it across the top. I guess Zoe gave up on getting lead in the house. Or she understood me when I said, just give us 5 minutes to get these on. We'll let her in the house. And this also came with the kit. This is sharp shredded, or well, it's shredded now, but it's sharp cheddar cheese. Which, if I'm being honest, I don't know that I would have ever thought to use cheddar on enchiladas. Would you? Is that what we normally use? Guess I just don't know. I am not the enchilada maker in the house. I just happen to be the one that made the kit that night. And if it goes on the Big Green Egg, I usually am the one that gets involved. Okay. Double check my recipe here, so I don't tell you wrong. It calls for scallions on top as well. I'm not a scallion fan. Shonda is, but as it turns out, we were going to maybe do scallions on half, but the scallions didn't look so good, so we decided to pass. But you can do whatever else you want to do with sour cream and stuff too. So we'll put this in. It's going to bake for about 10 minutes. So rather than just, you don't want to hear me talk for 10 minutes, we'll actually pause the video once I put this on, and then we'll come back and show the finished product so you can see it. The egg is still cruising at 450 degrees. And as we talked about, the left side of the Big Green Egg there is set up for an oven. This would be the top rack of the oven. This would be the middle rack of the oven. So I'm just going to place that kind of in the, it's over the indirect zone there. And we will shut this down. Check my time. And we'll give that 10 to 12 minutes that it needs, and we'll pause the video, and then we'll come right back. Okay, and so it's actually been about 14 minutes. And our enchiladas are ready. So we'll show you what we got here. We're cruising at the 450 degrees. Backing up to the previous step, we grilled our chicken, warmed up our tortillas, then made our enchiladas. Slide that back out of the way so you can see they're bubbling, the cheese is melted. 450 degrees. And that is set up as in an oven basically over that half moon. Over here it would be direct, and that would be a whole different style of cooking. But I'm gonna take what I'm gonna do. Hopefully I remember not to touch that handle. I'm gonna try and get one of these out of here real quick so that it can cool down just a little bit, so we can do our virtual bite on camera without literally scorching our taste buds for the rest of the dish. Okay, cast iron skillet chicken enchiladas. And actually, you know what? I bet it'll cool down even more for our bite if I get our bites ready. What do you think? We'll make this mine.
Okay.
Because it's steaming, we'll let that cool for just a minute. Trying to think if there's anything else I could point out while we're on the... If you have your convector that you're not using inside the egg, your pizza stone, Big Green Egg branded pizza stone that has the high temp ceramic, works great for this type of application. We need to get that skillet off there so it doesn't continue to cook. So that's just the convector that goes in the Mini-Max, but if I didn't have that, I'd put my pizza stone out there and do the same thing. So, Big Green Egg, we're now done. We kind of showed you the setup that we did there. So just a reminder to set it up on the neat things. Let's look at how much coal is in there. I started out just with a little bit more than that. It doesn't take a whole lot to cook for whatever it was, about the hour that we've been doing this total. So once I shut down the top and the bottom draft, within 15-20 minutes that charcoal is going to be totally out, and then we're just going to relight the charcoal the next night. That charcoal that we lit there was relit charcoal. And just standing here a minute ago realizing, I was like, man, I'm smelling something that's not mine. And nothing better than cooking on the, besides cooking on the egg, is when you look over and realize you're smelling your next door neighbor's Big Green Egg. That's pretty cool. We've noticed all of our neighbors are out. You know, regardless of what type of grill you have, just get outside and cook on the grill. I think they have a gas grill. I can't tell exactly what that is. They're cooking on the grill tonight. So everybody, you know, we have to stay home. Actually, don't have to stay home now, but
seem to like it that way.
yeah, we love staying home. We love staying home. And just a reminder, kind of speaking of that, while our bite is cooling down just a little bit here, as we mentioned, the store is open. We're doing the curbside. We're offering deliveries. But if you're not comfortable with getting out right now, we still have the virtual option as well. You can set up a virtual appointment, whether you want to take a look at one of these and find out more about it and get one-on-one with one of our team members in the store virtual. We can totally set that up. You can do it on our website, or you can call the store and we'll make arrangements if you don't want to get out right now. If it's outdoor patio furniture, fire pits, anything that you could need outdoor living wise, and you're not comfortable with getting out, just let us know. We are taking precautions if you do come in the store. Of course, we're taking all the necessary precautions to make sure that we all stay safe and keep you safe as well. So, all right, I think we're ready. You ready to do this?
Ready.
Our meal kit, chicken enchiladas, skillet, cast iron skillet chicken enchiladas, cooked on the Big Green Egg. This will be interesting because the first time we did this recipe, we were inside. Not everything is better on the egg, and this is going to be the proof. That is good. You ready?
I think so.
I think it's going to stay together. One for the camera operator.
Delicious.
It's very good.
Good job.
Our own favorite Mexican restaurant, but at home. So, once again, thanks for tuning in. We're coming to you every Thursday night now at 7 o'clock with a new recipe, a new episode, and of course we'll post these online. And we're also we're all trying to get our recipes together. At some point in time, we're going to have a stay-at-home series cookbook, so that every recipe we've had all the way back to the very first episode, you'll be able to print it off, or it may be something that we'll have printed off in the store and offer, something like that. We haven't quite figured that out yet. And we'll just keep doing these every week. So I'll see you the next time, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.